Well, Ion defines love as a force field, not an emotion. So actually that's very relevant to complete what I said just a minute ago, all the 5 dimensions of quadrophenic interaction with Iondom. As you get better at acting, you are becoming the existence of love as a force field. You're playing badminton, football, hockey, basketball, baseball, chess with the force field of Ion. So that would be the new act of exercising of the potential of knowing what the force field is and can do.
But what do you mean by participating in Iondom? Like taking the drops or talking to him or all?
Yeah. Taking the drops, interacting, questioning Ion, attacking Ion, competing with Ion, any kind of action as an actor of communication. Ion often says they love it when people get mad at Ion, when they start to try to insult Ion. Ion really, they claim to be very excited by that kind of. Ion's not looking for agreement. While performing in the theater of payday, Ion demands full range of emotional response. And as you get better at that, you then flip into love, which is not an emotion. You get to counter and be a force field in response to Ion's force field.
And how do you experience this force field yourself?
I don't think about it. I assume I'm doing it. But if you ask me to be simple about it, I try to pay attention and not get too irritated. If I do get irritated, it's an act. I deem it's appropriate to whatever is happening on the show to pretend that I'm irritated by something. So I don't worry about whether that's being loving or not. But it always works out, so it must have been love. We register the present, as limited as it might be, we register it as an emotion. So you have, as Ion says, relative responses on the spectrum. So you are going to have feeling in your interpretations of the present engagement of whatever it is you're engaging. And it's to not be carried away to make a final statement, well, that was a bad emotion, or that was a great emotion. You can enjoy the feeling that it's great and be upset that it's not too good. But you know you never get it done. You can't fail, and nothing can really hurt you. So once you recover your emotional balance, that's when you move into love as a force field. So a good way to practice it would be to say hate is a force field. And then I'm saying, oh, hate is an emotion. And then you react to that definition, and then you argue, and then you get more involved, and you learn how to hate because it's not an emotion. You make it not an emotion.
And how do you practice love?
Oh, you don't. You never practice love. That's a cliche. People have too many interpretations of what love is. So you don't look for love, because you're going to make it be an emotion, and that's not love. So you never look for love. You just assume, as Frank Zappa once said, that love is a given. That people will hate you with an intensity that is exciting, though they never would admit it. And you know that, and you don't admit that you hate the other person, because people are supreme sovereign entities interacting and interfering with each other. There's constant irritation going on. In a crowd, watch people in the crowd, they're irritated by people. So when you realize the irritation is natural, as an emotional feeling place, doesn't bother you as much. And then you forget about it. Then you're feeling good more. Or you're feeling less irritated. And that's what Ian means when he says the contrast grows strangely dim. The contrast. Remember, you can't know how good you're feeling until you have some bad feeling. Because you always tend to get numbed out by the present. Whatever you're experiencing will become bland, no matter what you're doing. Because you'll want another experience. So you evoke a contrary or a parallel feeling so that you know what you had felt. And then that new one will become exhausted. It's like the tetrad. You have a new feeling, you enhance a range of response, and then it obsolesces the previous bland feeling, retrieves something you didn't foresee as a feeling, and then flips into its opposite, which would be maybe a bland response, a bland completion. Or it might, most people can't take ecstasy for a long time, can't feel happy too long, you then get irritable, you get worried. So it's natural, the ebb and flow. It's natural that heaven is only for a short while, and then non-heaven, then non-heaven, every minute. So then you forget about monitoring it.
But is it different in the ascended state? Are you more in this?
Well, Ian says that if you are ascended, you start, when you have sex and you have orgasms, you feel it all up and down your skin, right? All over yourself.
Do you feel that?
Well, maybe shortly, but the way Ion spelled it out seemed to be quite extended. It was almost like being on a drug. I mean, someone was telling me they're taking a new drug. Yeah, you were telling me. Your friend took a drug and he felt, this woman felt all the sensations all over her body. That sounds like what I am saying the ascended person feels without taking drugs.
Our natural chemistry doing it.
Right. So, why did I bring that up? You asked me, the ascended person. I think worrying about whether you're feeling ascended or not, that gets in the way. I don't try to be ascended. I don't focus on it too much. I just try to respond to whatever's happening around in a relatively happy or sunny disposition. But not always, because then you become boring if you're always happy to the others. So you're always gauging how your audience, who you're talking to, who you're paying attention to, is reacting to you. That's the drama. That's the ESP that goes on between people. That's the ESP that's going on between us right now. As you gauge what I'm saying, and I gauge how you respond to my gauging, to your gauging, that's a constant drama of communication among humans and maybe animals in the environment, whatever you perceive the environment to be. So it's a constant indifference, but excitement. Both things happening. And then the environment as it becomes alive, the Endor Meme, it starts doing that back to you. The Endor Meme is like the highest ascended state of being reflected back at you. Look at just news broadcasters. They announce a news item, then they go to another news item, then they go to another one. They're not stopping to stay focused. They just keep presenting new experiences. That's the news broadcaster is unconsciously miming the way reality is. So the Endor Meme is very, very ascended. It's a simulation of ascension. Now ascension, you might emphasize too much the conventional meanings of ascension, sounds like transcendence, but included in ascension is what's called immanence. I-M-M-A-N-E-N-C-E. Not imminent as coming, I-M-M-I-N-E-N-T is coming soon. It's imminent. Immanence with A-N-C-E is pervasive. So you go vertical and horizontal at the same time from the interval position, the interplay. Just reading that today, reading Remedios Varo, she was describing the in-between in her art, or the art critic was interpreting her painting as expressing the in-between, the transcendence and the immanence. You go up the transcendent, step along the immanent, wow, never getting anywheres. Never going anywheres, never completing the direction. See, so I'm dispersing my meaning as I speak.
Yes.
And so you are dispersing your meaning as you respond to me. You were going to say something?
It's not going anywhere.
That's not true. We're always feeling you're going somewhere. It's only when you step back, can you even step back? It's every now and then you start feeling, oh, I didn't go anywhere. I'm still where I feel myself. Then you can say, oh, I didn't go anywhere, but you did. But you will think you didn't.
We're trying to get you back to God.